On May 9, 2015, Moscow's Red Square unveiled what many believed was the future of armored warfare, the T-14 Armata. With its revolutionary unmanned turret, heavily protected crew capsule, and advanced firepower, it was hailed as the most sophisticated tank ever built, a bold statement of Russia's military resurgence. The world watched in awe as the Armata rolled past, a symbol of cutting-edge design and technological ambition. Yet, nearly a decade later, that promise remains largely unfulfilled. Mass production stalled, battlefield deployment minimal, and its role reduced more to parades than to real combat. How did this groundbreaking war machine go from global headline to a cautionary tale of ambition outpacing reality? Revolutionary design, blueprint of innovation. The T-14 Armata was not merely an upgrade of aging Soviet designs like the T-72 or T-90. It was a complete reinvention of the modern main battle tank from the ground up. At its core was a revolutionary unmanned turret, operated remotely while the three-man crew sat protected inside an armored capsule deep within the hull, dramatically enhancing survivability against direct hits. Its Afghanit active protection system promised to neutralize incoming threats like RPGs and anti-tank guided missiles before they could strike, offering a level of active defense unseen in prior Russian armor. The powerful 125mm 2A82-1M smoothbore main gun, featuring an autoloader, provided formidable firepower, with future plans to upgrade to an even more lethal 152mm version. On board, a suite of sensors, thermal imagers, and advanced targeting systems integrated the Armata into a fully networked digital battlefield, rivaling the sophistication of NATO's most modern platforms. The modular Armata platform was also designed to serve as a flexible chassis for a wide array of military vehicles, from infantry fighting vehicles and self-propelled guns to recovery and support units. In concept, the T-14 represented a leap toward the next generation of armored warfare. Ambitious, innovative, and unlike anything Russia had previously fielded. Propaganda and pride, a modern symbol. For the Kremlin, the T-14 Armata was far more than a military project. It was a potent symbol crafted to serve multiple strategic objectives. On the global stage, its unveiling sent a deliberate geopolitical message, declaring Russia's resurgence as a cutting-edge leader in military innovation capable of challenging NATO's technological edge. Simultaneously, the Armata was aggressively marketed to potential foreign buyers, particularly nations like India and the UAE, positioning Russia as a premier supplier of next-generation armored technology. Domestically, it fueled national pride, showcased during parades and state media broadcasts, reinforcing the narrative of Russian military strength alongside other advanced programs like the Su-57 fighter jet. The Armata became a centerpiece in the Kremlin's broader propaganda machine, intended to elevate Russia's image as both modern and militarily formidable. However, the grand sales pitch ultimately failed to convert into contracts, as the prohibitive costs, technical complexities, and production setbacks left foreign customers skeptical. Without confirmed international buyers, the Armata's promise as a lucrative export commodity quietly faded, further highlighting the gap between ambition and execution. Production realities. The turf wars begin. The ambitious vision for the T-14 Armata quickly collided with harsh production realities. Initially, Russia boldly pledged to field 2,300 units by 2020, a figure that projected confidence but underestimated the challenges ahead. Almost immediately, financial constraints, technical difficulties, and industrial bottlenecks began to derail the program, forcing full-scale production to be pushed beyond 2025. And by mid-2018, the Kremlin quietly canceled its mass procurement plans. Limited pilot deliveries followed, with Rostec announcing small-scale serial production in 2021, yet by March 2024, estimates suggest only 20 to 50 tanks had actually entered service, far below the grand expectations. The staggering cost of each unit, priced between $3.7 to $4 million, made the Armata significantly more expensive than the modernized and battle-proven T-90s or upgraded T-72s, leading Russia to question the economic viability of its futuristic supertank. Battlefield realities. Ghost on the front. Though hailed as a game-changer for the Ukrainian battlefield, the T-14 Armata has remained conspicuously absent from actual combat zones. Western intelligence and open-source data confirm that no credible evidence exists of its deployment in Ukraine, despite Russian propaganda suggesting otherwise. The high financial cost and the fear of losing such an expensive, unproven asset led Rostec's CEO, Sergei Chemezov, to admit that the Armata was simply too valuable to risk on the front lines. Compounding the issue, the tank's heavy reliance on its Afghanit active protection system makes it dangerously vulnerable if the system fails, leaving its unmanned turret exposed to enemy fire. Persistent technical problems with its engine, complex electronics, and overall reliability have further discouraged any serious combat deployment, turning the Armata into little more than a high-profile ghost on the battlefield. Economics and sanctions, Armata in a pressure cooker. The Armata's development faced immense pressure as Western sanctions choked Russia's access to critical components like advanced microchips, optics, and precision electronics, severely hampering production capabilities. Struggling to overcome these technological shortages, Russia shifted its focus toward upgrading its existing T-90M and T-72B3 fleets, which offered a far more cost-effective and reliable solution for its immediate battlefield needs. These upgraded legacy tanks, already proven in combat, allowed Russia to maintain armored strength without the crippling expenses and technical uncertainties tied to the Armata. As a result, the once celebrated T-14 gradually slipped into the background, sidelined by economic and logistical realities. Comparative context: West versus East. While Russia struggled to bring the T-14 Armata to full operational status, Western nations pursued a more measured, evolutionary path in armored warfare development. NATO's programs, like the Franco-German MGCS and America's Abrams-X, focused on integrating advanced digital networks, AI-assisted targeting, and enhanced survivability into proven mass-producible platforms. Rather than betting everything on revolutionary designs, these programs prioritized reliability, logistical compatibility, and steady modernization. Meanwhile, Russia discovered that deploying thousands of upgraded battle-tested T-72s and T-90S offered a more practical advantage on the battlefield than relying on a small fleet of high-tech but unproven armadas. In modern warfare, sheer quantity, battlefield adaptability, and logistical simplicity often outweigh cutting-edge but fragile prototypes. Final assessment: legacy and lessons. The T-14 Armata stands today as both a bold experiment and a sobering lesson within Russia's military-industrial complex. As a technological proof of concept, it successfully showcased groundbreaking features like an unmanned turret, a fortified crew capsule, and sophisticated active protection systems. Capabilities that, in theory, could redefine tank warfare. However, these innovations exposed Russia's industrial limitations, revealing a severe lack of funding, infrastructure, and reliable supply chains necessary to transition from prototype to mass production. Despite its initial promise, the Armata ultimately failed to establish itself as a viable frontline weapon, a lucrative export, or a lasting symbol of Russian military dominance. Instead, it became a clear demonstration that advanced technology without the support of a robust, sustainable industrial base amounts to little more than ambitious showmanship. In the end, the Armata's journey underscores the harsh reality that in modern warfare, practical scalability and sustained production power are just as vital as technological breakthroughs. Tank that could have been. From the moment its sleek, unmanned turret first appeared on Red Square, the T-14 Armata embodied Russia's bold ambition to revolutionize armored warfare and reclaim its place at the forefront of military innovation. Yet, nearly a decade later, the Armata's thunderous debut has faded into a quiet existence, restricted mostly to parades, limited trials, and the speculative analyses of military experts worldwide. The question remains whether the T-14 represents a failed venture, an unfinished prototype, or a technological seed for future advancements. While Russia continues to keep the platform within its defense inventories, the brutal realities of modern combat suggest that mass, cost-effective, and upgradable systems often outweigh the risks and expenses of cutting-edge exclusivity. In this evolving calculus of war, proven reliability and logistical sustainability continue to dominate the battlefield over experimental sophistication. Whether the Armata eventually re-emerges as a functional platform or joins the ranks of ambitious but impractical wonder weapons, it will remain a striking testament to the complex balance between innovation, industry, and strategy in modern military history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rise and fall of Russia's T-14 Armata, don't forget to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. For more in-depth military analyses and global defense stories, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay tuned, because the world of modern warfare is always evolving, and we've got you covered.